Ole Dammegard, I am so happy you have said yes to this interview. Welcome, Ole.
Thank you so much, Fleming. It's really good to be here with you.
We normally speak Danish because you were actually born in Denmark before your family moved to Sweden. This time we're doing it in English, and that's because this is even more interesting topics to the geopolitics, to the deep state, to the way the world is going. And before I get into further introductions of you, I just want to show a video that is very interesting at this point in time. It's Friday, the 28th of March, and today is actually a special day because something special is taking on regarding the US and Danish relations. So I will just find this video. Here we go. I think I have to share sound as well. Optimize like this. Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Shady Vance, the Vice President, and there was so much excitement around Usha's visit to Greenland this Friday that I decided that I didn't want her to have all that fun by herself, and so I'm going to join her. I'm going to visit some of our guardians in the Space Force on the northwest coast of Greenland and also just check out what's going on with the security there of Greenland. As you know, it's really important. A lot of other countries have threatened Greenland, have threatened to use its territories and its waterways to threaten the United States, to threaten Canada, and of course to threaten the people of Greenland. So we're going to check out how things are going there. And I say that speaking for President Trump, we want to reinvigorate the security of the people of Greenland because we think it's important to protecting the security of the entire world. Unfortunately, leaders in both America and in Denmark, I think, ignored Greenland for far too long. That's been bad for Greenland. It's also been bad for the security of the entire world. We think we can take things in a different direction, so I'm going to go check it out.
That was Vice President J.D. Vance talking about Greenland. He's visiting Greenland today, and this actually plays very well into today's subject, which I contacted you, Ole, I think about a month ago or so, to have this interview because I think so many people are getting lost in all the things that are happening and they forget to research things. And if there's someone in this world who actually knows how to research things and put the puzzle together on a grander scale, I think it's you, Ole. I know you from 5 years back when I was some of the arranger for an event called Awakening Weekend in Denmark. It was you and a lot of other very good communicators on the subjects that participated. One of them was Steve Weibrow. He did so well. Unfortunately, he died just recently. And so I would also like to dedicate this video to commemorate Steve Weibrow. But anyway, Ole, thank you so much for being you. You are one of the few people that you can always count on in all of this. And then we have a lot of other people who is in and out. Recently, there's a guy called Ian Carroll. He just appeared out of nowhere 1 year ago, and now he's just over everywhere on the internet. But it's like not really taking a direction of any importance. Ole, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not traveling as much as you are, but I'm planning on doing a bit of travel in the coming time.
I tell you, Fleming, it's the way I see it. I've been down this rabbit hole it's almost 45 years now. And at this point, I just feel how much can you trust of anything you see anymore? I mean, with now when AI has been released to us as well, don't believe that this is something new. This is something that these dark forces have been accessing this technology for a long time. Otherwise, I would be super surprised, but this is normally the way they use these type of technologies and develop it for like 30, 40 years. And then we're being drip fed stuff along the way when it sort of moves in and works for their agenda. So this sort of like avalanche of AI that is now there also to just, whoa, what's going on. One of the things that is good with it is that it shows us the possibility to manipulate audio, video, text, all of these things. So I would very much recommend anyone here, please, please take it easy when it comes to believing what you're being told. I think never, ever has it been more important to just take a step back and said, hello, is this even true? Is that even him saying that? Is it him? I mean, you got TikTok apps and stuff that can just swap faces, that can change the voice, and the thing that we're being told now, that all of these things happen in the world. How do we know? Through these screens, digital screens that are connected to the internet, that are controlled and created by certain forces. And when you start looking into these things, you will very often see that they are the forces that are trying to play around with us and grab us by the ball and totally dominate and indirectly destroy us. So I would once again say, please take it easy. Take it easy when you start getting scared, when you start freaking out, when you start seeing, oh my God, it's doomsday once again. Oh, it's game over. Oh, everything is melting. The finances are crashing. We're dying. You know, save me, crew. Or is it? Look out the window. It's pretty goddamn beautiful still. So if I could say, you have talked now about Greenland, this beautiful island that nobody cared about for a long time, consisting of not Greenland, but a lot of ice. So what is the reason now suddenly for this incredible interest? And please understand, I'm not interested in politics at all, I never voted. I'm interested in tracking down criminals, exposing criminals, and stopping them in their tracks when it comes to hurting us or innocent people around the world, because that really is not okay in my world. So when I look at presidents, I mean, the only real president that I know of, and he was also put into power through manipulation and voting fraud and stuff like that through his father, was JFK. As far as I know, he was one of the few that really tried to make a change. And he ended up stone dead with a bullet to his head. Then came Martin Luther King, walking in the footprints of Gandhi. Gandhi was killed as well. We have this incredible habit of killing these beautiful souls that are trying to make a difference, or shut them down or destroy them. Join my world, because I'm surrounded by people that have disappeared or died. I want to dedicate this program to my friend Ulf Bittner, incredible, fearless individual, and such a supportive friend of mine, who recently died also after that they indirectly took him out. Yeah, and Cody Snodgrass as well, my brother in arms, who they also took out. He died a while ago. But anyway, so these beautiful individuals.
So and that's what got you started originally, Ole, when you looked into the Olof Palme murder.
No. I was way on the trail, way before Olof Palme is said to have been killed. He officially died in 1986. I completely doubt that whole scenario. But I got started in 1980, and it was the JFK assassination that got me going. And for anyone who's not aware of myself or my work, please understand that I've devoted my life to this, and I'm considered among many as one of the number ones in the world when it comes to exposing false flag operations and top political assassination. So I'm not just bullshitting. And I also publicly connected or predicted 77 of these alleged mass shootings or alleged terror attacks up to 3 months before they actually occurred. So my last name has become a verb, #Dammegard. So I think when you start predicting things, then it seems like that you're onto something, you're onto them, meaning that I think that I managed to decode and decipher a lot of the bullshit that we're being served. So I'm grateful to be given this opportunity. So all the so-called
to Dammegard, I think, means to predict and prevent it from happening.
So when it comes to presidents that have followed the JFK assassinations, several of them were directly involved with the assassination itself. Nixon was in the background. George Bush Sr. was the paymaster for Operation 40. That was one of the major part of the assassination itself. He was on site. George Bush Sr. was on site. He was standing outside the Texas School Book Depository when the shots were fired, and Junior was there as well, Boy George. We have along the way, I mean, most of these people are deeply involved in criminality on a scale that is unbelievable. And the reason why these people have been chosen is not because they're these incredible alpha leader, brave individuals that will, stand up in the face of corruption and no, they're handpicked for their ability to obey, for their ability to look good on screen and say, we will stand up in the face of terrorism and we will, absolute bullshit. They're just there to let it happen and indirectly destroy nation after nation from the inside. From the inside. Denmark, Sweden are perfect examples of where the enemy is not outside. We're being told it's them, it's them, it's them. It's the old divide and conquer Roman template. Actually, it's from the inside. So you have to look what's going on from the inside, and you will find there's a very small, very, very rotten core that is destroying these beautiful, beautiful nations by design. They will tell you whatever you want to hear before elections. You think that you're electing anyone. No, they're selected. So it doesn't matter who you choose because the agenda just goes on. And then once they're in power, they will completely destroy you. That is the agenda. You have to see it. Like now we have the new Canadian prime minister or president or whatever they want to call him. He was in England, destroying England from the inside out as a legal, economical advisor, completely destroying it. And then they just move him up the ranks, and suddenly he takes over after Trudeau, who's another one of the World Economic Forum young global leaders, prepared for years and years to destroy the nation from within. Okay, so in on stage, oh my God, when it comes to these individuals, then we have suddenly this individual with this strange hairdo called Donald Trump. Who is Donald Trump? What does he stand for? Politically wise, I have no idea. I never listened to a word of what he's saying. Never. I never listened to Obama. I never listened to George Bush. Look at their actions, because it's easy to say stuff, but check out their actions and you will see that this, for instance, if we take Obama, who took over after disaster, young boy George, who by design was destroying everything from the inside, getting it look to an incredible problem. So we really were freaking out saying, my God, we need a solution, somebody better. And in on stage, boom, came Barack Obama, an individual create not even a real identity, but like a boy band put together individual. His real name is Barry Soetoro, and a former CIA operative in Afghanistan, where he was working with the Mujahideens and stuff. And he went under the name of his secret name was Renegade, and his task was from the inside to destroy the US of A and indirectly the rest of the world. And he has been extremely powerful and successful as a player. He's absolutely not one of the ones that pull the strings, but he's an absolute asset for destruction. And when you look at, he has been talking about peace and Nobel Peace Prize here and there and everywhere. But if you look at like the drone attacks on innocent countries like Afghanistan, in the thousands that are just continuing. Why, oh, why, oh, why? If you ask me, it's human hunting. That's what they use. These are online computer games where people have live targets for the elite. That's why all of these drone strikes on innocent people in countries where most people don't care about because it's too far away and they are too poor and not important for us. So we don't care. I would suggest like maybe it's time because you could be in these sites very soon.
It's very
So
scary to look up
it's
Lannius drones, Israeli Lannius drones, because they are exactly that kind of computer game you're talking about.
it is scary as hell. If you want to go into this type of things, when you start seeing the real thing, it's like, fuck me, what the hell? How could we let this happen? Anyway, so in on stage came Donald with a hairdo Trump. And here's for the first time somebody with the finances where he could actually maybe stand up against these powers, because normally, I mean, you don't have a chance because of the propaganda in these elections are so massive, and the whole financial input and marketing is just unbelievable. But dear Donald had the finances. Look at his life before. I mean, a more ego-centered individual. I don't judge. I'm just saying somebody who all the time focus on making something bigger and higher and not about caring about people, but just I, me, mine. And then also mingling with people like Jeffrey Epstein, a Mossad operative, CIA operative, also that was gathering information and blackmail material on many people in power systems. That's what the whole Jeffrey Epstein is about. Just like Jimmy Savile, Mark Dutroux, these elite players that are on a lower level, but they're as part of controlling this whole system. But here suddenly Donald Trump comes in and he says, I'm going to drain the swamp, fuck the elite. He says a lot of good stuff. I mean, he says a lot of stuff where you go like, whoa, 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 that sounds good. Does he do it? I have not seen a drained swamp yet. I have not seen him standing up against that where there's been real difference. When you see instead the action, the result, it goes like this. But I'm not here to just boom, he was out of the game and boom, he came back in. One of the reasons he came back in was the assassination attempt on him. Okay, on my website, lightonconspiracies.com, that's conspiracies.com or dammegard.com, you will find a recorded webinar where I break down that alleged assassination attempt in great detail. I'm not there to push anything on you. I'm just pointing, look here, look there. Does this match? This is what we're being told. Look there. Does this match? Does this match? Does this match? It's I mean, it's mind-blowing, I tell you. Once you really start seeing what happened that day, holy moly, it is a complete psychological operation there to create a hero out of this. But actually, it was a Jewish ritual where he was prepared to become the next Messiah, from a high priest to a Messiah. It was a Jewish ritual. Oh my God, he's talking about Jews. Oh my God. It's not that. I'm looking at criminal acts. Okay. Anyway, so in my opinion, and I tell you, anyone who watches this 2-hour webinar and disagree with me, please bring it on and tell me. You cannot, because it is the truth is the truth. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So anyways, so what happened? Suddenly he became incredibly popular. And that was the thing that made him over the bump. There was a little doubt there for a while. So they arranged for a second alleged assassination attempt, which is always what they do. This is normal marketing. If you don't get the emotional boom, if you don't get the sales you wanted with the shampoo or whatever marketing campaign, you add another boom. That's like that. They have these marketing meetings and it's sort of like, they check all of the parameters and there's these all and check with the public, whatever. Did we get the result we wanted? No, add another one. And then we had another shooter. Oh my God, at a golf range while he was boom, 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 with this incredible healing. I mean, the way he could heal a 2-centimeter wound in the ear within 48 hours. My God. I mean, bring it on, Donald. Tell us about your healing powers, because that could really be a benefit for humanity. Please share it. If you want to drain the swamp, start there. And anyway, so he came into power. Hallelujah. So who did he surround himself with? Of course, the enemy. What? Wouldn't you? Yeah, but it's good to have the enemy closest. Really? I mean, if you are suddenly in a situation where you have a possibility to take over and do something, wouldn't you put yourself surrounded by the real A team, whoever they are in your world? Wouldn't you bring on the best of the best on this team to say, let's do this together? Now we can really make a combined effort to make a shift once and for all. No, all of them, or a massive part of his new government, are connected to Israel. Double citizenship, all of these, when you start checking these people out, it's just like, what? But at the same time, when he was doing all of these things, as part of the agenda, and I said it months before he was elected, was he needs to look like a hero. So be prepared. Once he gets into power, he will do a lot of incredible stuff. Things that looks like we will say, oh my God, finally, this is the guy. Yee-hoo! So look at what he's doing a lot of heroic things, like he's releasing the JFK documents after all of these years. Finally, this is it. This will make a difference. Okay. So somebody like myself, who's devoted some, 44 years looking into the JFK assassination. I have been around the world. I've been tracking down witnesses. I'm a close friend to people very close to the center of this assassination, like Lee Oswald's mistress. She's a very dear friend of mine. Some of the witnesses that were there, the son of E. Howard Hunt, who was one of the architects behind the JFK assassination. St. John is a friend of mine. I've done 3 interviews, very detailed interviews, with a guy that fired the final headshot, James Files.
That's so interesting.
Where I've been backing this guy since the late 90s. Since the late 90s, he had been trying to get the truth out against all benefit for himself.
Yeah.
They've been trying to destroy him, to take him out. He's almost been, I mean, his whole life was turned into, well, if it wasn't bad before, it's just been like, and he's been there trying to get the truth out there. So what has happened? I mean, he's even been on Dealey Plaza several years on the anniversary, where he showed, I was standing here, we're talking about one shooter out of multiple. It was a massive operation. He was a backup shooter that was called in just an hour or so before as a backup. And because the other shooters missed and they were going for a headshot, he decided to fire the final hit. And because he had a special ammo, he was using a Remington Fireball, a small little CIA assassination. It's like a mini rifle. It's like a short barrel rifle, but with a pistol grip. Anyway, so because he was using a special ammo, the whole head blew up on JFK. And
it was a special bullet, was it a Quicksilver bullet that he was using?
No, he was using a 221 Remington Fireball original ammo. But what he did was he was a hitman for the Chicago mob and working for the CIA, both of them. And the Chicago mob had a guy who was helping them with the weapons and ammo. His name was Wolfman. And what he did was because the Files had used this gun 2 or 3 times before for assassinations, and this gun had this problem that the bullets ricocheted off the skull of victims. So before they managed to sort that thing out, James Files wanted to be on the safe side, so he got Wolfman to make this special ammo. And what Wolfman did was he drilled a hole in the top of the bullet itself, and then filled it with mercury and topped it up with wax, meaning on impact, it would just completely shatter like this, which is exactly what we see. And I find it really interesting because it was that bullet that's got me started. One late night in 1980, where I was watching this documentary at 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and I saw the Zapruder film for the very first time. And I mean, it right away when I saw that his head just was thrown back into the left, Farmer Brown logic, 1 + 1 = 2. The shooter must have, at least one shooter must have been standing in front and to the right, somewhere up on the grassy knoll. Yeah, but the official narrative right away said, no, 6th floor, takes a school book depository behind a tree, a big tree with a horrible rifle that couldn't hit a barn, even if you tried, a scope that wasn't fixed. That was the official narrative. After all of these years, we're talking like, what is it, 27 years no, yeah, but in 1980, what was it, 70 years after the assassination, and then official narrative was still saying the shooter was up there. It took me like 18 seconds to figure out that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken me like 43 years to track down and devote and put myself through all kinds of hardship to find what I believe is close to the truth. It's so much bigger all the time, but I focused on a street level of what actually happened down there. And so for me to actually interview the man who fired that shot, where he's openly speaking about anything. And the thing is that this is a man that was born into a program for assassinations. He was born in 1942 under the name of James Sutton. His mother was poor in Alabama and signed up for this program to be inseminated by some kind of Aryan Dolph Lundgren type hero, as an experiment. So she and other women got paid to get inseminated. So she got pregnant with James. James got born, and more or less he was taken over by these scientists that then, at the age of around 6 or 7, started training him as in murder. He's the only thing that he's been ever taught. He's never went to a normal school, never gone to college, never done anything else than killing stuff. And this guy is like Mission Impossible in a modern version. This guy can kill you with any part of his body at any time. He is the real deal. And he's been involved in more than 1,000 deaths. 1,000 deaths. For him, the Kennedy assassination, he's completely uninterested in the case. He knows nothing about it. He just knows his little part. And for him, it was just like he said, it was like taking out the garbage. He couldn't care less. He didn't like the guy, and he only did it because somebody that he really adored, Chucky Nicoletti, who was one of the other shooters, a hitman for the Chicago mob. He adored him, and he would doing anything to do it. So he was asked by Chucky, do you mind stepping in? One of the other shooters backed out. He said it would be an honor. He blew the head off Kennedy. He couldn't care less. He went back home, continued his life. And on sort of like on a list of what he's done in his life, the Kennedy assassination, not top one, absolutely not. It's like place 58 or something like that. But he's been involved in so many assassinations and black ops around the world. He was constantly living with a suitcase that was packed. He called in every single day to his handler, who was the same handler for Lee Harvey Oswald. His name was David Atlee Phillips. And at any time, David Atlee Phillips could just give him, you need to be in Guatemala City in 48 hours. More orders will follow. And he was just given targets like this, right, left, and center. And he went all over the world killing people and enjoying it as well. So to interrogate or really get the information out of James Files, who is willingly giving it after having met Jesus in a high security prison, that was the thing that turned him around. Plus that a close friend to him got murdered because he was trying to get the truth out there. So for the widow of his friend and that he met Jesus Christ, that was the thing that turned this cold-blooded killer into somebody who wanted to share the truth, to get it out there, and who's devoted the last 30 years, not 20, yes, about 30 years. So I was, and I've, in these interviews I've done with him, I've been on stage talking, backing him since the late 90s. Also Oswald, who was completely innocent, about get the truth out there. Listen to this man. If you listen to this man, so many of these mysteries, the murder of Che Guevara, so many assassinations in Africa and South America and Vietnam, the Operation Phoenix, the Operation Condor, the School of Americas, the assassination of so many different ones, blowing up of Cuban airliners, blowing up Orlando Lettier in Washington, D.C. It just goes on and on and on, where we've suggested, please interrogate this guy, talk, get the information out. You could spend, like on C-SPAN, you know, this TV channel, there could be hearings with James Files for weeks on end. It would be the most watched show ever, because it would just be like on mind-blowing stuff. So he's been in Dallas on the anniversaries, calling in the global media saying, I'm here, let me share this. How many journalists came? How many? One or two. There should have been thousands. Look at what happened when O.J. Simpson, the whole media had a standstill for like 2 months, at least around that court case. What happened with Michael Jackson? They were sleeping outside. They were, when it comes to this, the biggest murder mystery of all times, zero. When the King family had a court case in 1999, when they took on and proved that it was the agencies, FBI and CIA, was deeply involved in the assassination of Martin Luther King. They had witnesses. The judge ruled for them, saying, yes, it is now proven. How many journalists were there? One local, it's the wrong finger, it's this finger. One local journalist, one. What on earth is going on? You have to ask yourself, what is happening? And at the same time, we're being flooded with information from right, left, and center, and nothing from things like this. So if I can go on, please do like that when you want to stop me. So we come to dear Mr. Donald Trump, whoever that dude is.
Before we do that, so James Files actually shot the lethal bullet and killed JF Kennedy.
Yep.
And that's
on my website.
And that's admitted by the shooter himself. And you've got several, and I will of course in the description field of this video, I will of course link to the interviews you've done with James Files. So when Trump releases the JFK murder files, then I mean, you've been following it probably, Ole, and you couldn't wait to see all the truth spilling out, or what?
Okay, the thing is that in these operations, how do I know? Am I an assassin? Have I been in this business? Absolutely not. But I've learned from people the best in these areas. Over the years, I've been involved with many whistleblowers. I interviewed many people to learn instead of me just guessing. And one of the things you will find when it comes to top political assassinations, and many of these other operations, is rule number one, leave no paper trail. So from day one, there has been no documents to be released. That's standard operational, that's how they are carried out, that there will be big, to avoid these type of things. So this whole charade about these releases, first of all, when you look at so many of these assassinations, or when it comes to stuff like that, suddenly they say, yeah, the documents will be relieved in 70 years. What? Why 70? Because then all of the guilty ones, their ass will be buried 6 feet under, smelling the lilies from underneath. That's why 70 years, it's not because, oh, we're so protective of you, or we're so caring. It's absolute bullshit. It's to, when they say national security, it's their security. It's their assets they want to cover. It has nothing to do. These top secret, right, left, and center. What is that for? It's so that we will not find out what they have been up to. Yes, there are some areas where this type of top secret information is needed, but in these operations, absolutely not. So there was this release in 2017. All of these thousands of files will be released. The world will finally know the truth. Really? Okay, so I downloaded them, and there are thousands of files. Who went through them? Okay, so after, what is it, 60 years or something like that, you would think that if they have been top secret, then every single one of them would be like a bomb of truth, right? Right or wrong?
Yeah.
Why would they, for all of these years, no, we can't release it. You're not able to handle the truth. But now, when you've grown up and you're big enough to handle it, we will give it to you. Okay, so I go through all of these thousands. They're given out with no type of system. It's complete chaos in these files. It's only number things. There's no headlines. There's no. So somebody like me had to go through and just like one by one by one. So all of them, of course, are connected to either JFK, Martin Luther King, or Robert Kennedy, right? Absolutely not. They're like bus ticket from an agent in Mexico City. Okay, wait a second. Mexico City was involved in the JFK assassination from 1978. He died in 63. None of them were around in 78. Here we have from Bahrain, airplane tickets for a CIA operative that was going to a meeting in Japan. Okay, in 1971. And that's in the JFK files. We have another one. I mean, I've been going through it. I've found, like, I don't think I exaggerate, 99% is absolute bullshit on steroids. There's nothing of value at all, except the things that are pointing to the patsies. Oswald. Was he in Moscow? Was he there? Was he in Kiev? People have seen him there. People have seen him there. He was the patsy. He was the distraction. Guilty, guilty, guilty. So you don't look at the ones who actually carried it out. So, okay. And like today or before this, because now we had releases in 2017, then in 2018, 2022, 2023, and now 2025. So they must have left the golden nuggets for us to see now. So I have a folder called joke that I'm just, when I go through it, and then I put them in the joke folder and the joke folder and the joke folder. The thing is that it looks, for someone who's not used to these type of documents with top secret stamps like this and blacked out names and encircled stuff and notes, and it looks really like, whoa, I've never seen a CIA document before. This is really interesting. No, it's not at all. Once you are used to that world and have seen the real stuff, it's just like somebody's just like shoveled a card of decks and put in this and that. And we have from the Dominican Republic, and there's like some kind of group in Japan that they exposed, and a lot of code names that are connected to where was that? And another one, here's a guy, a suspected member of the Black Panther, who was connected to Martin Luther King, who was on Danish TV. I kid you not. In 73. Who cares? Who cares? But the only thing it does is that it gives somebody like dear Mr. Trump the possibility to be the hero, to now finally release it to the public. It's out in the open. I spoke to James Files. I said, do you think there's anything about you? He said, no, of course not. He officially died at birth, by the way. His own birth certificate, he died 2 months old.
James Files.
Yeah, under the name James Sutton. Sorry. So let me keep talking, please. So when you look at what's going on right now, if it was the real thing, this would be amazing. I would be in awe. I would be like, my God, finally, after all of these years, I can't wait. I can't sleep at night. I just have to do a few more. I go, oh, do I really have to? Yes, you're not a real researcher if you don't do it. Okay, God Almighty, Guadalupe City. What is this? I know most of these code names and the people involved. No, 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 no. Some of them so faded, like some photocopy type of crap thing, so you can't even read it, or it's so fat, the print is so fat, you can't figure it out. Then we have like Swedish people involved. Also, what are they involved in? It doesn't say anything about it. In the details, there's nothing. And I have 2 or 3 of these top secret ones where it says, look at attached document with attached photos. Where's the attachment? Where's the document? Do you see what I'm saying? But it's yet another one in thousands of anonymous. It's exactly what they did with the Warren Commission. No system, all of it like this. So it would take some 26 big, thick books that you just have to go through one page at a time, just like, holy shit, I have to cut and paste and put it together and wait a second. Okay, now, oh, no, it didn't say anything. This is the way they distract us. So if I can continue rambling on for a little while, is that okay?
Yes, it is. Definitely, Ole.
So a while ago, over the years, dear Donald Trump has been part of supporting the US Space Force. It's been this incredible thing, US Space Force, with incredible technology from Raytheon and from these different Northrop Grumman, and also what's the
SpaceX.
Yeah, but no, SpaceX is a different one. But US Space Force are using technology with laser weapons, directed energy weapons. This is the thing. And the soldiers, whatever they are called guardians. When you look at the US Space Force website, it is very weird, to say the least. Very weird. Okay, so it's almost like it's
You know that you might not know that, but when Vance is JD Vance, when he's going to Greenland, he's actually going to the Pitofik space station in Greenland, which used to be the Thule military American military base since 1943 during the Second World War, when they actually achieved this sovereign area of Greenland and made a base there. And there's a lot of there's a lot of scandals involved, because they also dropped a nuclear bomb, which is still lying under the ice there, and they weren't officially allowed to bring that kind of a weapon to the Thule air base, and that has created a lot of stir in Danish politics throughout the times. But on this very day, when JD Vance is visiting Greenland, he's actually in the Pitofik space base in Greenland, near Thule.
And this is why I mentioned it, because he was talking about the US Space Force, okay, and the Guardians. Yeah, and my dad was, if I'm correct, my dad was up at the US Space Force, Thule Space Force. It's northwest, up on the top northwest.
That's right.
Way away from everything. And also, it's not a massive big base. It's a small, tiny little, but super, super important from a strategic point of view base. So Greenland is not only ice, it's also from a strategic point of view, very, very important. So the US Space Force, when I really started looking into it was on the attacks on Lahaina in Maui, with these very weird fires, these fires that have been carrying out for many years in California, the Paradise Fires, all of the very, very odd fires, to say the least, with anomalies where trees are burning from the inside out, where engine blocks are melting, where the wheel rims are melting, but the grass is green. You know, anything that is not on metal is fine. It's just grass, trees, and the houses completely destroyed. I mean, flattened. And we've seen it over and over and over again. And where fires start in multiple places at the same time, they go against the wind and spread against the, I mean, it's breaking all rules when it comes to fires. It's like, you can see like wooden fences, the wood is still there, but where the nails were put in, that it's completely burned out. So it's something from a normal point of view, when a fire, absolute not. It's the exact opposite. But if you look at directed energy weapons or micro weapons, it has the exact thing. Just like if you have a microwave, the thing is, if you open it up and direct that energy, you will get exactly these results. And this technology was actually, if I'm correct, Nikola Tesla's technology. That was, they murdered him in the New Yorker hotel in 1943 and grabbed some of these inventions that he had, one of them called the death ray. And then you will see the very first time that I've seen these anomalies when it comes to fires is in 1947 in Maine, in the US, where you have exactly the same thing. So he died in 43. I think Maine, that they call it the Millionaires Row, that area, because it was really like from a real estate point of view, something that could be turned into gold. And they just got rid of everybody else, which is exactly what you see in these areas as well. They're sort of, it's like cleansing, like not ethnic cleansing all the time, but people cleansing or property cleansing for the next step, which is the whole smart city. You will see that it follows exactly these maps of the smart city, the Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, all of that, this whole agenda that is straight from hell.